Hi, how's it going? Um, it's been a quiet day today. I'm gonna level with you, right? I haven't done anything today. I've tried to clean up my living space because um, along with age and the torture, my ADHD is getting worse, so it's getting a bit more difficult to keep up with being more organized and everything. But I tried my best today. And I know people might not constitute that as doing nothing. For me, it's doing nothing. Because apart from me, spending a couple of hours trying to clean up my very, very small living space, I haven't actually done much. I'd usually be doing writing or doing my readings or preparing for. I should really be preparing for November's readings and doing a bit more marketing with regards to Empress Justice Tarot, but I just haven't done anything. I've just been very, very tired and burnt out, and the circadian rhythms are fucked up because I'm not getting out of the house nearly enough as I should, nearly as much as I should. But I wanted to talk online today just to give myself an outlet, really. I haven't talked online for a good long while now. I have on Empress Justice Tarot, right? I have done on that, but I haven't talked online about TI stuff for the longest now. And the reason for that is because even though the electronic torture is still going on, I'm pretty sure I've been hacked. Because apparently I tried to log in, and apparently I was logging in from New York. So I've definitely been hacked by gangstalkers and stuff like that. I just don't have the energy to deal with it because there's just so much that I'm dealing with already. And then there's the meeting I've got with Brighton and Hove into, you know, I can't even get the words out. It's Brighton and Hove independent mediation services. So I've got a meeting with them next week, I think. So I've got a meeting with them next week. I've got to go to the doctors next week. I'll let you guys know what happens with those particular things because those are important. In particular, the Brighton and Hove independent mediation services, talking about the neighbors that have been harassing me because the neighbors did the predictable thing of saying, yeah, I'll do the mediation, and then not showing up when they're actually called, or when their phone calls. Because again, there'll be no way to actually do the mediation without admitting to everything that they've been doing. And on top of that, they're still looking for ways to have me be aggressive, or ways to have me threaten people, or ways to like they're still looking for ways for me to do that, but they haven't been successful yet. And what I'm thinking is that they are actually waiting for me to do something. So they're trying to needle for me to do something and then take it a step forward. But in the meantime, if I'm doing like an audio diary recording my thoughts on my phone, they're listening. If I have a stream of consciousness that I verbalize out loud, they're listening to that as well. Just trying to find whatever they can get to kind of amplify their case, but they haven't had anything yet. The last time I talked about these particular neighbors was on camera. I think it was a week ago or something. I got a look on here. I think it was a week or something ago. When I last talked about the situation with my neighbors. Let me just look briefly. Let me look briefly. When's the last video I made about them? I've got another troll in here, by the way. Just I don't know. I don't care. Okay, so home. Let me see. Let's see what videos I've got here. Let When's the last video I made about them? It was about the drain. Oh my God. 2 weeks. I haven't made a video about them in 2 fucking weeks. Jesus. I haven't made a video about them in 2 weeks. So when I'm left to my own devices, like, this is proof of everything that I'm saying. When the perps are not successfully getting a rise out of me, when they're not doing anything to provoke me, you've got like 2 weeks that has been left between the last time I talked about them and now. So there's not a lot they can do with that. But the point is to try to make me look bad. But I already look bad. I've already had my mental health called into question. I don't see what more there is they can do. They can't do anything more. There's nothing more that they can do. The only thing they can do is continue the same way. Because that is how the program works. They can't stray from that. Not really. You know, if they stray from that and they become more obvious with their targeting, and they become, you know, if they become more obvious with their targeting, or they become more violent, then it just gives me legitimacy, and that's not what they want. This is the thing. When something really bad happens to somebody, the true colors of everyone else around them, that's when those true colors start to come out. There's a reason why, as a targeted individual, they prolong your pain and they prolong your suffering. It's because the second that something happens to you that the perps cannot reverse, that the perps cannot talk their way out of, cannot bargain their way out of, that's when everybody else's true colors start to come out. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's when the whole fucking thing unravels. So that's why they do need to keep TIs isolated, but they need to make sure that it looks like the TIs are isolating themselves rather than it looking like it is a community-wide thing that's going on the low. They need to make sure that you're not just isolated, but that it looks like you're doing it to yourself. That's why all the gaslighting, that's why all the street theatre, that's why all of this crap is going on. It's not just a case of, you know, people having fun messing with you. That, you know, perps do have fun messing with you. They do. They do enjoy making your life a misery because their own lives are miserable. They're vacuums and black holes of fucking joy. So, of course they need to make you miserable in order to feel remotely alive. That's not in question. But the thing is, people don't seem to understand why the street theatre and why the gaslighting and why the constant references to mental health troubles are important for the gangstalkers to do. Again, if you're seen as severely mentally ill enough, they can try to annex your resources. They can annex your resources without giving you consent. If you're sick enough and you're isolated enough from your family, if you have any resources, those resources go back to the syndicate. If you are a targeted individual and you are being betrayed by your family, now this is where conjecture comes into it, because this is what I believe happens. If you are part of a gang stalking initiative or you're part of a secret network and you are given immunity from prosecution for all the crimes that you commit, and you're given, you know, let's say you're a drug addict or you're an arms dealer, you will be given contraband items from customs and excise, right? You will be given contraband items. These are just some examples that I'm reeling off, right? You're given immunity from prosecution. You're basically given immunity from the fucking law in order to do all this. But what you're exchanging for the immunity to be able to betray your friends, betray your family, partake in the trafficking of another person, the price you pay for doing that is that you essentially hand over your wealth, if you have any, to the syndicate that you're a part of. That's how it works. You don't just get immunity You don't just get immunity from prosecution and immunity from every criminal record and you don't pay for it. There is just no way. There's no way. You have to pay a price. And the price you pay is through a family member that you choose for sacrifice, or a family member that you choose for programs like this, so that if they become unable to take care of themselves, or there isn't any family or any legal representatives to help them, you can annex their resources if they are deemed to be incompetent. Always follow the money when it comes to anything that you go through. Always follow the money. When you find yourself being bullied, when you find yourself being trafficked in this way as a gang stalking victim, when you find yourself being trafficked in this way, the question that you constantly need to ask yourself is, what do they want? What they want is to annex your resources and hand that back to whatever syndicate or secret fraternity that is giving you all this immunity from prosecution and from the law. But then that's conjecture on my part. Don't quote me on that. That's conjecture. Yeah. That's the price you pay for immunity from prosecution. You can have all of these wonderful things that they give you, but it's not free. And it doesn't really belong to you. Coming back to the street theatre and the gaslighting and all that stuff, the point is to make it look as if you are the source of your own problems. And not only are you the source of your own problems, you are the source of major problems that are going on in your life. And where the mental health thing comes in is so that they can have plausible deniability and say that, well, actually it's because your mental health issues are out of control and that's why all of these problems are going on. That's why trying to provoke me by saying and doing stupid things for years on end has been a tactic of the perps. That's why they're doing it. It's so that they can make it look like every single problem I've ever had with my neighbors, with my family, with my friends, oh, it's all her. She's the common denominator. They're doing the common denominator shit. That's what they're doing. That's what they do to all TIs. Oh, she's the common denominator. It's got to be her. No, like as a TI, you are not the fucking common denominator. You are the target. That's what a target is. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? And it's all about resources. It's all about, it's all about resources. Why would anybody need access to your free will unless they want what you have? Come on now. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's why they're doing all this. That's why, there's all this, harassment and stuff like that. So what I anticipate with Brighton and Hove independent mediation services, what I anticipate when it comes to them is that they're going to waste my time. They're going to waste my time. They're going to sit there and they're going to talk about, oh, how are you doing mentally? How are you doing with this? How are you? They're going to waste my time. That's what they're going to go over there to do. But there's there's a reason why I'm allowing all this. I'm not going to say what it is, but there's a reason why I'm allowing all this to happen. I'm watching everybody. I'm watching everybody and what everyone does. Because one thing this gang stalking thing has taught me is that you have to watch people very carefully. You got to. So, there's that. And once again, it's just the same thing that's always happened. It's been 3 years now in November. So it's just more of the same thing. It's just saying stupid shit and spying and, trying to say, oh, she's got mental health problems and that's why, it's been done before. It didn't work then and it's not going to work now. I don't know what to tell you. It didn't work then. It's not going to work now. It's definitely not going to work now. I've been to London where they have more organized healthcare and they have people who actually know what the fuck they're doing and who don't go around prancing about like a paparazzo starved whore or attention whore. Don't fucking walk around like a, you know, I don't mean to use the word whore in a derogatory, well I do, but like there's sex work, there's the hierarchy of sex work, and then there's the hierarchy of attention seeking. To me, sex work is just not something to look down on. That's not something I look down on, and that's not something I will ever look down on. The type of whores I'm talking about in fucking gangstalking, I'm talking specifically about people who are attention whores and people who think that they're smarter than they actually are. Do you understand what I mean? That's the type of people that we're dealing with in anyone outside a major city. That's the type of shit that you deal with. People in major cities can be attention whores as well, and you will see throughout my fucking social media the kind of attention whores I've had to deal with in London. But the difference is that they're better connected, and a lot of them have better social skills, because that's fucking London. You have to have a certain competitive edge to be able to gangstalk somebody effectively. We don't have that here. They're not organized over here. They're not, a lot of them are not as smart as they think they are. That's just the fucking truth. There are a lot of people from out of town who come to Brighton who don't know the culture. Well, I'm an out of towner who came to Brighton. But there are a lot of capitalists who come to Brighton and they're fucking dumb. They don't know the culture. They don't know what they're doing. And then there are the people who live here who are very smart, who are very capable, but they don't have the same level of a competitive streak that other gangstalkers in London do. And then on top of that, there's the healthcare. I was running rings around these people in Brighton, man. I was running rings around them because they don't have the same structure on the same level as people in London do. And I was fucking up London. I was fucking London up. And again, you can check through my social media. I was fucking them people up. The amount of evidence that I have got against those people. Mine do not want it with me. The Charity Commission don't want it with me. The Met Police don't want it with me. Brent Council don't fucking want it with me. None of them want it with me because of the kind of fucking evidence that I've got. I was fucking London up. So you can only imagine the amount of rings that I'm running around the people over here. Because they're just not on the same level. They're just not on the same level over here. So like they're doing stuff. They're doing like an amateurish version of what London people did. And London still got their asses fucked up. So what do you think's going to happen here? What do you think's going to happen here? You just attract bare people who think that they're smarter than they actually are. And the way that they actually gangstalk, it's so obvious and so laughable. It's like you're sitting there and you're thinking, okay, what's this supposed to do? I've dealt with people who are more dangerous than you. I've dealt with people who are smarter than you. What is this supposed to do? You couldn't even get shit done with the amount of people riding your dick. What is going on? So, for me, these people are trying to apply the same tactics literally everywhere that I go to. Only the people that I deal with over the years, they just get more arrogant and they get stupider and they get more desperate. On top of gangstalking not changing its tactics in the slightest. They haven't changed their tactics. They haven't changed their plans. The only advantage they have over me is timing. And even then, that's only because they have layers upon layers of hierarchies that they use to keep this shit going. So the only advantage that the Gangstalkers have over me is that I can't predict when they're going to do something. And that's it. Again, major cities, they have things in place. Because the major cities is where the bigger secret societies are. Think now. The major cities are where the biggest secret societies are. So of course they're more organised. You've got places like London, Manchester, Leeds. You've got places like Edinburgh. Most of those places are where the finance people are. Major cities are where the finance people are. And wherever the finance people are, that's where you will find the bigger headquarters for alchemical fraternities and alchemical sororities. That's where you will find the more prestigious people that belong to those secret societies. So of course the organization level is going to be different. Of course the level of gang stalking is going to be different. Of course the level of gaslighting and street theater and people breaking into your house, of course all that's going to be different. Do you understand what I mean? And people over here being as loud and proud as they are about their gang stalking, they think that makes them smart. They think the fact that they're loud and proud with it and I don't react, or I do react, they think it makes them smart. It doesn't make them smart. Just doing the same old shit that they always do, and it never works. You know what I mean? So let them spy on me. Let them spy on me. If I have thoughts in my head, if I have a stream of consciousness that they want to spy on, I mean, go right ahead. They might fucking learn something worth a damn. Because God knows they're not learning it from the program that they've been enlisted in. You know what I mean? You know. Let them spy on me. Let them do what they need to do, and they might actually learn something. Although it's been 3 years, you think they would have learned something by now. That's the thing about gangstalkers. They always think they're smarter than you. Doesn't matter how much they get their ass beat. They always think they're smarter than you. They always think they're smarter than you. So you know, Brighton and Hove intermediate. Oh, Brighton and Hove Independent Mediation Services. Yeah, I've got a meeting with them next week. Again, I can already predict what the fuck's going to happen. It's just going to be me sitting them and them asking about how I'm feeling, and then saying, when's the last time you took your meds? And then saying, trying to make segues into paranoid schizophrenia, basically, just to waste my fucking time. That's what it's going to go into. Now, I've already made plans to have a care worker. I've already made plans for grief counselling. Those are on a waiting list. So in the meantime, these people up here have been trying anything and everything to try and get my attention so that I'll end up acting crazy. I just don't have the fucking energy to do that. I don't have the energy. So I've already handled my affairs. I've already done everything that I need to do. So by the time I go down to BIMS, I will already have that in hand. I've enlisted for a care worker. I've enlisted for grief counselling. Done 2 things that I need to be doing. Now by the time I go down there and they start wasting my time on that shit, I'll be like, you know what, I've already planned this out. So what are we really doing here? What is this meant to do? How is this meant to help my situation? When I've already demonstrated that I have the capacity to actually cope with the situation already. When you know I have good strategy. When you know I have, a good grasp of what to do in situations where I am being harassed. Where there's been recorded evidence of the incompetence of law enforcement when it comes to harassment. Of my landlords when it comes to harassment. Of the council when it comes to harassment. It's been well documented that the only incompetent people are the ones around me and not me. And I'm supposed to be the vulnerable one. So what's next? what's next. I can already predict it, because that's what the fuck they do. When the police want to cover it up and they want to cover up what they've been doing, they will just waste your time. Only it's not really a waste of my time, because the more they fuck around trying to stall me or trying to make sure that I'm out of the house so the gangstalkers can come in and do what they want to do, the more that they do that and the closer I get to more higher up people that are actually involved in this gang stalking, the better it works out for me. Because then I have a clearer idea of exactly how the hierarchy works. So I'm not bitter about it. I'm bitter about being gang stalked to death, but I'm not bitter about I'm not bitter about finding out new things or being forced to leave my house. I've been dying to leave the house, truth be told. But yeah, so I'm actually okay with leaving the house. It needed to happen. I needed to leave the house at some point. Now, the meeting gives me an excuse. And it's just like the hospital appointment. The hospital appointment gives me an excuse. Fantastic. That's exactly what I need. Okay. And on top of that, it gives me a better understanding of how the hierarchy of gang stalking works and how far it goes. Every time I deal with authority figures, it's a new gang stalker that I'm exposed to. It's a new network of gang stalkers. Now they're easier to get to because, again, we're not in London. Toto's not in Kansas. I have a clearer shot and a clearer network tree to be able to identify how high up the gang stalking goes here. I'm able to do that here in ways that I wasn't able to do in London, even when London had more information to go on. So any opportunity to learn more about the system that's trafficking me is okay by me. Doesn't bother me. So there's that. Also, I was having a stream of consciousness today about stuff about relationships and stuff about love and how it works and stuff like that. I'm not going to reveal everything, but there are two things that I've observed in life when it comes to people. The first thing is that I've talked about obsession before, and I've talked about how it manifests in different people and why different people do it. What I found is that the core reasons for obsession are usually fear, anger, envy, or grief. So if you're obsessing over somebody, you're either scared to lose something that they represent, or you feel like you've already lost it. You envy what they have and you want to steal it from them. You're scared of them and you want to keep needling them so that you won't feel scared anymore. And then there's anger, where you become obsessed with them because you want to actually win over them. You want to win, like, some sort of pride. You want to win over them in some way because you feel like that goes back to grief, actually. You feel like they've taken something from you, or you're denied something, that you have something that they want, but they don't know what it is yet. So until they figure it out, they're just going to keep needling you. Do you understand what I mean? So obsession comes from those four things. What I've realized is that obsession doesn't actually come from love. Now, I've had feelings of obsession myself, and one of the things that I've mentioned before about obsession is that shame also plays a part in it. Shame plays a part. Shame makes people angry, and when people get angry, they get obsessive. And I realize a lot about my attraction when it comes to people that I've been obsessed with. And I realize the people that I've been obsessed with, I didn't necessarily actually care about them. I was ashamed of myself for liking a certain subgroup of people in general. And I was ashamed of myself for liking them in particular, and I don't know why. That's not something that they did, but it's like I was ashamed of myself, so I felt like by chasing them and finding out exactly why they provoke certain emotions in me, it felt like if I found out, then I'd be healed in some way, or that do you understand what I'm saying? So I've had problems with that before. So when it's aimed at me, I'm not surprised by it, because it's like, I know what drives obsession. I know what drives obsession. I know, you know, I know exactly how it works. I know how people get preoccupied with it. I know how it destroys your life, even though it didn't really destroy mine. I know how it destroys your life. I know how it kind of reprograms you, shifts you, changes you into something that you don't really like. I know all that. It's like when you're ashamed already and that shame makes you obsessive over something or someone, you go down a shame spiral. So it's like it's a toxic cycle of shame that just keeps going downwards and downwards and downwards and downwards and downwards and downwards and downwards. So it's like my obsession caused me to do things that were not worthy of me because of the shame spiral that the obsession creates. And it's the same with the gangstalkers that are coming after me. They engage in obsessive behavior that creates a shame spiral. It's like a spiral of anger and shame that just keeps circulating and keeps circulating and keeps circulating and keeps circulating. And it causes them to desire victory over the thing that they're obsessed with. They feel the need to conquer it rather than just leave it alone. But the problem is that the more you cling to something that you're obsessed with and the more you try to beat it, is the more you actually deny yourself all the blessings that you already have. Do you understand what I mean? So it's a difficult thing where you have to really check yourself and really check, like, why do you keep fixating on certain things and certain people? Like, why do you keep fixating on it? What do you think you're going to get out of it if you keep fixating on it? This is exactly why, when it came to these people, when it came to stalking me for 3 years, when I asked the question, what are you trying to get out of 3 years of gang stalking or 3 years of obsession? When I ask that question, I'm not asking that question so that I can look superior or so that I can feel better. I'm genuinely asking. Because to obsess over somebody, to go into a shame spiral for that long, it takes, like, there has to be a certain motivation there. Like I said before, it has to be death in some way. That's the only one that I can think of. It doesn't have to be death necessarily, but that's my thing. If you're in an obsession or shame spiral for 3 years over somebody, it has to be death that you're looking for, because you've already got everything, all the attention that you want from them. What is it that you actually need? Now, when I got obsessed with people, I realized it was because I wanted prestige, or I wanted confidence, or I wanted beauty, or I wanted... Do you understand what I mean? I wanted a better life. Because the way I saw it, I had better places to be than where I came from. So I wanted a better life. That's why I was obsessing over these people. But when I look at my life, I'm literally being trafficked by, like, there are members of my own family involved in my trafficking, involved in my torture, that will be involved in my death, right? There are already members of my own family involved in this shit. I can't really have too many friends outside the TI community because you know they're going to be involved in the shit. I can't have relationships because I can't trust anybody in relationships. So, you know, and then on top of that, everything that I have, I don't own it, because at the end of the day, I'm being treated as mentally ill. I'm being treated as, you know, paranoid schizophrenic when I'm not paranoid schizophrenic, which means that like I don't have anything that I own. Like I got some appliances that I own, but that's about it. I don't have anything. I don't have anything like that. Do you understand what I mean? So what is it in me that has you so pressed that you feel the need to be obsessive for this fucking long? I don't get it. It just doesn't make any sense. You've been in my place. You've broken into here. You yourself said that it wasn't as clean and tidy as everyone thinks, and that I don't have anything in here worth stealing. So what are you obsessed with? What are you obsessed with? What is it? What are you trying to accomplish? What are you trying to achieve? Because whatever it was that you claimed to be wanting to get, you got it last time. It didn't feel anything. It didn't feel the chasm that you were creating with your own obsession. With your own obsession. It didn't feel the chasm down there. It didn't feel anything. So what is it that I have that has people pressed where they need to be obsessed for a year, 2 years, 3 years? I'm trying to understand as a targeted individual. I'm trying to get it. Is it the fact that I'm right about everything? Or about most things? I'm not right about everything. I'm right about most things. And I'm not right about specific facts. I'm usually right about the gist of something. But is it the fact that I'm right most of the time? Is that what has people obsessed? Are you waiting for me to be wrong on something? I've been wrong on shit before. Still didn't fill the gap. Still didn't fill that fucking gaping void that's only growing over time. And speaking of which, during my stream of consciousness, and I told the neighbors upstairs this when they were spying on me, and I make sure they heard it, right? You have people. Let's get real dark with this, right? Let's get real dark with this and real truthful with this. They have the love of friends and family and communities of people that know they are trafficking someone to death. They have communities, friends, family, and people, even if other neighbors around here hate them, they have a whole community of people on the low, in secret, that know they are trafficking people to death. And they are standing by them, and they love them, and they are down for them, whatever the cause. I can't even get that, and I'm the trafficking victim. You've got family members who love you no matter what evil, terrible things you decide to do. You've got that. You've got people who will lie for you, people who will try to protect you from all the awful things that you are doing to other people. You probably have immunity from prosecution as well because the police are protecting you. They're protecting your interests. The only reason why they're not coming after me is because I outwit the fuckers. But they're not coming after you because they have a vested interest in protecting you. You have protection from prosecution. You've got family members who know what you're doing, who know that you're trafficking people. And even though I wouldn't say that's something to be proud of, but you've got family members who know that you're trafficking me to death, who know that you're torturing me to death and complicit in my torture. You've got people who know that you're doing that and they still love you. And they don't care that you're trafficking some stranger. They still love you. As long as nothing happens to you, they're good. You've got people you can talk your problems to and not worry that it's going to get anywhere else because your crimes have to be kept secret. You've got gadgets that you've been given. You've got lots of treats and, whatever else that you've been given because of this program. You got coupons and shit like that, that you've been given because of this program. You've been given personal access to other people's private information as a result of this program. You've been able to spread rumors about me with no consequences. You can spread rumors about anybody that you hate with absolutely no consequences. And you have all of that. You have all of that. You've got the benefit of the doubt of your race, even though your race is the shit. You've got the benefit of the doubt of your race. You've got the benefit of the doubt of where you come from. You've even through your addiction, you've got the benefit of the doubt of that. Do you understand what I'm saying? You've got so much to be thankful for. You've got a beautiful little dog, like an adorable little fluffy butt angel that you keep up there, or that you have people looking after. You've got a beautiful dog. You've got a beautiful you've got friends round here that know what you're doing. And again, they co-sign your bullshit. Do you understand what I'm saying? You've got all of these wonderful blessings that you don't deserve, that you never deserved. All I have in this corner, all I have in this corner of the world, in this corner of my flat, all I have is me being right and me trying to do right in my actions. That's all I have, realistically. All I have is being right. And after everything else that you and your lot have taken away from me, that you and your lot are continuously trying to take away from me, you can't even let me have that. You can't let me have that. You can't even let me be fucking right. This is a program that has allowed my teeth to fall out, that has given me scabs all over my skin because I've had to itch all everywhere, that keeps giving me coughs and colds, that keeps fucking, like, I've literally had almost everything taken away from me. Apart from being right and apart from being in my integrity. And because you're so entitled, because you're so entitled, and because you're so empty, and because you're so pathetic, you can't even let me have that. That is absolutely fucking wild. Like, this is the thing, right? This is the thing. Even with me being black and female and queer and like alternate religion, even with all of that, I still wouldn't have the level of hatefulness that I'm experiencing as a TI. The TI is not the icing on the cake. The TI experience is the sundae. The cherry on top is the systemic oppression. That's the cherry on top. Everything else is TI shit. They will not let you have a goddamn thing. They want to isolate you from ever having healthy relationships. They want to isolate you from having healthy relationships. They want to remove every semblance of fucking self-preservation you have through repeated battering of your psyche and your body. They want to uglify you so that nobody will take you seriously. They want to accuse you of paranoid schizophrenia, which always succeeds because psychiatry has a lot of shit to cover up. They want to do all of these things to you. In some cases, they want to make sure you are gang raped in some cases. They want to, in the case of one fucking TI that I know, they want to burn your skin until there is nothing left. In the case of Lisa TI, Liza Goldsmith, my mother, they want to murder you. Leave the people that you love behind to mourn your loss and be murdered and tortured themselves in some way. Like, after all the things that they want to take away from you, they want to financially abuse you. They want to hack you, financially abuse you, hack you, steal from you. Make sure you can't get any help from any conceivable place, but God forbid you should have a little bit of singing talent. And I do mean little. I can sing my arse off, but there are people who are 1,000 times better than me, easy. God forbid you should have a little bit of singing talent. God forbid you should have a little bit of creative talent, a little bit of talent in maybe in psychic readings. And again, there are other people who are better than me. God forbid you should have any little semblance of any little thing. They want to take that shit too, because that's exactly the mentality that you end up dealing with when you deal with people who are easily discouraged because they keep receiving blessings that they don't deserve. It's easy to be discouraged when you keep getting shit handed to you, especially the benefit of the doubt. I've had people try to take away so much from me and succeeded. But apparently that isn't enough. I'm right all the time. So people feel the need to try to take that too. What the fuck? I even heard those little fuckers upstairs talking about the fact that I don't smell, and that's one of the reasons I don't care why they don't hate me. So that, like, even good hygiene, little things. Little things. The perps do not want you to have it. They don't want you to have it. They don't want you to have anything. Because they keep getting all of these riches, immunity from prosecution. They've got things that they don't deserve. Being their absolute worst. And when you get things you don't deserve through being your absolute worst, of course you're going to be an entitled little fucking, you know what? Of course you're going to be entitled. Of course you're not going to know your ass from your elbow and you're going to think the whole world belongs to you. Because you get rewarded for being your worst. And when you get rewarded for being the worst that you can possibly be, you get discouraged. And when you get discouraged, you get entitled. And when you get entitled, you pine after things you don't have. Because you keep getting things that you don't fucking deserve. The gangstalking experience is a microcosm of the experience of being oppressed in general. Because there are lots of oppressed people that can say the same thing about the people that are more privileged than they are. But as a TI, that is like on steroids, boy. They don't want you to have shit. And this is regardless of race, by the way, as a TI. They don't want you to have a fucking thing. Nothing. Not even being right. And even then, you're not right all the time. Selfish. Empty. Soulless. Pathetic. Pathetic. And the thing is that the people in the world think it's a flex. We think it's a flex to be this way. What happened? Hold on a second, is that fly? It's a small one, it's a harmless one. And when it comes near me, I'll just pop. But yeah, stream of consciousness, folks. That's what we have. That's what we have, a stream of consciousness. Yeah. But yeah. This gang stalking stuff teaches you a lot. It really does. About people and the way they work and what their motivations are. You know. You know. When you get rewarded for being your worst self rather than your best self, you know, it feels like it came easy to you. And if it feels like it came easy to you, it feels like it wasn't earned. That's what makes you want what other people have, even when you have more than enough. You know. But truth be told, if I'm really honest with you, sorry, yeah, fly came near me. After seeing, you know, what people turn into when they become their worst selves, I don't know if I even want that anymore. I don't know if I even want to be rewarded for being the same kind of people that hurt me. I don't know if I even want that now. It'd be too much. I wouldn't be happy. It'd just be too much. I'm not happy now, but like, I think it's better to have nothing and be unhappy than it is to have everything and be unhappy. You know. Having everything and being unhappy is fucking, it's balls. Don't let anybody tell you any different. I haven't come from a super rich background, but I've had more than this before. Now I was young and I had all the money that I needed, or everything that I needed to go to college and uni, and I was looking good and I was beautiful. I had everything, and I was still so miserable. I was so miserable. Because I was constantly rewarded for being somebody that I did not want to be. It was miserable, man. Horrible. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that for my life. And it turns you into somebody that you can't even recognize anymore, that you don't even want to look at. And those are the same kind of people that are hurting me right now. I can't turn into them. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Even if it means that I'm not where I want to be, I can't do that. I cannot. I cannot, and I will not. And I feel like I don't want to turn into the people that hurt me. I don't want to turn into those people. And if I am going to turn into those people, I want to make sure that the people I end up hurting actually deserve it. And they're not people who already had nothing as it was. Am I a good person? No. But that's what I want. That's what I want. But yeah. No. If all the love in the world and all the benefit of the doubt in the world, if I get that through being my worst self, that means it's never going to be enough. You can keep it. Fuck that. Oh. I mean, yeah, trade-off. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? But anyway, yeah, look, I wanted to open a window for a change, because I usually have them closed. The only reason I have them closed is because my room my flat looks a mess. But like, I wanted to see this view right here. I never get sick of this view. Look at that. That is crazy, bro. I love this view so much. Like, imagine waking up every day and the second you open your blinds, the sea is right there. That's crazy. I love that. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's the little things in life you've got to appreciate. It's the little things, Sorry, I don't know what happened there. Hang on. But yeah, it's the little things in life you've got to appreciate, I love this. I'd like to be the kind of person that can have the bigger things, and appreciate them just as well, I'd like to be that kind of person, I do want more for my life. I do want more. I could choose to strive for more, knowing that I'm a targeted individual, especially seeing as, I'm in the very privileged position of having less emotion, less electronic torture than everyone else does. I'm among the lowest readings in the country. I still have privileges, I still have, blessings that not a lot of other TIs have. And I choose not to exploit them because of the emotional stuff. I know how I am emotionally, and I know emotionally how I'm responding to the torture. So, striving for more from life is something that I choose not to do. To try to preserve as much peace as I can have. Because again, gang stalking, the perps don't want you to have that. They don't want you to have peace. They don't want you to have the little that you do have. So I preserve the little things in life that mean something to me. I preserve my peace of mind wherever I can get the opportunity. And as a TI, that's not the most you can do, but that's certainly the most that I do. I could strive for more. It's not that I can't. I have the choice. Everybody has a choice. Don't let nothing fool you. Like, I can be a torture victim, I could be a trafficking victim and a trafficking survivor, right? I can be an abuse survivor and abuse victim, but I have a choice. I have a choice. If I want to strive for more, I can do it. I just choose not to. Because I want to preserve my peace. My peace comes first. Actually, no. Before my peace comes my integrity. My integrity comes first. And then my fucking peace. And I'd rather preserve these things and be, oh, it's sad that she never got to do that. I'd rather people say that about me than say, yeah, she did get to do what she wanted to do, but she ended up being sacrificed. She ended up in a position where she couldn't tell people the truth, where she was ultimately vulnerable because of the kind of power she had. That's not going to be me. So I look out the window and I enjoy the view. And occasionally I get a bit closer to the view because it's nice, you know. But anyway, I'm going to go. Peace and blessings. And yeah, you need to join me on Empress Justice Tarot. I've got a new video up there if you want to have a look. And also, I've got 20% off tarot readings in October for those on my mailing list. Go ahead and make the most of that. Okay? I love you guys. Peace and blessings. Take care. Hold on. Have I forgotten something? I've definitely forgotten something. I know I have, but I'm going to say goodbye. Bye-bye, my loves.